All right, if you're running a wedding venue, let's talk about something that's, well, probably a huge headache. I'm talking about guest data. The seating charts, the dietary needs, all that stuff that is absolutely vital for a perfect event. The problem is, you're usually just waiting for it. Well, today, we're going to dive into how you can finally take back control.
So let's just start with a really simple question. Think about it for a second. In those crazy weeks leading up to a wedding, who actually holds all the keys? The information your kitchen needs, your staff needs, even your security team. Who has all that data?
Yep, you guessed it, the bride. Just one person, and let's be real, she's tried to plan one of the most emotional, stressful, amazing days of her life, and she's not even on your payroll. This single point of dependency, that's the real heart of the problem. So this whole situation creates something we can call the bride bottleneck. And look, on the surface, it seems totally normal, right? It's just how things are done. But when you actually dig in and look closer, you start to see just how fragile this system is and the huge risk it puts on your entire operation.
I mean, really think about that for a second. Your entire event execution, we're talking catering, security, the whole shebang, it all hangs on getting information from someone who, let's be honest, is not a professional event manager. Now, sure, if she's super organized, you might get lucky. But what happens if she's overwhelmed? It's your team that ends up paying the price.
And it's not just a little bit of information, is it? We're talking about a ton of critical data you're just waiting for. The full guest list, that tells you how many staff you need. The final dietary list, that's a massive health and safety issue. The final head count, that determines your entire inventory. And right now, you're just sitting back, passively waiting for all of it to come to you.
This waiting game is stressful. It puts everyone under a ton of pressure. And it's not just your staff who are feeling it. The hidden costs of this whole inefficient process, they hit your client just as hard.
Because let's talk about the reality of the information you finally do get. It trickles in super late, right? Sometimes just days before the event. It's almost always incomplete. It comes in a dozen different formats, messy spreadsheets, a long email chain, maybe even a few text messages. And just when you think you've got it all sorted, bam, it changes again. You're basically being asked to run a 5-star flawless event using 2-star chaotic data. It's impossible.
So who's actually winning in this scenario? Nobody. It's a lose-lose. Your event coordinators are spending hours, literally hours, chasing down updates. Meanwhile, the bride is completely drowning in her own admin, trying to juggle RSVPs, delicate family dynamics, and a million last-minute changes. The system, as it stands, is just plain broken for everyone involved.
Okay, so how do we fix this mess? The good news is it doesn't require some massive, expensive overhaul of your entire business. It's actually about one simple, proactive shift in how you approach it. It's a change in mindset that can literally transform the entire dynamic.
Here's the first step. It's simple. Stop asking. Stop chasing. Stop putting the entire burden of compiling all this data on your client. You have to break this reactive cycle.
And instead, you start providing the system. A system where all that information gets collected directly from the source. This is the game changer. Because when you own the platform, you own the data from day one.
So, here's how that actually looks. It's super simple. You, the venue, provide a digital system. The guests enter their own details directly into it. All that information updates automatically in real time. And boom, your team instantly has a live dashboard with everything they could possibly need to know. Just like that, the bride is no longer the bottleneck.
This one little shift completely transforms your operation. It takes you from chaos to total control. So let's talk about what that actually feels like day to day.
This is the old way, right? That email. Please send us the latest list. It's a question that's just filled with uncertainty. It basically screams, we're dependent on you. And it's a request you have to make again and again and again. And this is the new way. We already have it. It's not a question, it's a statement of confidence, of competence. It tells your client, without you having to say a word, that you are on top of every single detail. It's a whole different level of service.
And the wins for your operation, they start way before the wedding day. Suddenly, you've got exact numbers for ordering. You have a clean, accurate list of dietary needs for the kitchen. You can see RSVPs coming in live. Think about all those hours your team used to waste just chasing down information. Now, they can spend that time actually perfecting the event.
And you know what? The effect this has on your client is huge. The bride is just relieved.
A massive chunk of admin is just lifted off her shoulders. All she has to do is share a single link. And just like that, your venue looks modern, super organized, and like a genuinely helpful partner in this whole process.
Okay, so that's all the prep work, but what about the big day itself? Let's look at how this proactive approach makes a real difference when it counts. Because at the end of the day, you can't have a flawless event without flawless data.
On the day of the wedding, here's what you have: a reliable guest list for your staff, an accurate dietary plan for the kitchen, no more dangerous mistakes, a clear reference list for security. Every single department is working from one single source of truth. No more confusion.
And the whole event, it just runs like clockwork. And it's for one simple reason. Your team was in control of the information system right from the very beginning. You aren't just reacting to some messy spreadsheet that came in at the last minute. You are operating from clean, organized, live information that you managed.
Look, at the end of the day, relying on the bride for all this critical data it's an outdated, high-risk way of doing things. There is a much, much better way. One that seriously cuts down on the stress for your client and, most importantly, gives complete operational control back to you and your venue.
So that really just leaves one last question for you to think about with your own operations. Are you actually running the wedding, or is messy, last-minute data running your venue?